core or a kernel reality which you can understand. What the magic which the entrepreneur does is that he or she brings together all the other elements which are somewhere in the ecosystem and brings it all together and makes it into a reality. And look at the reality. I sometimes, I think I've told Dr. Asha Kishore and previous directors also this, that whenever the institute talks about technology transfer, and I can see Dr. Bhuvaneshwar here is going to smile at what I say, they always mention the heart valve first. But I keep thinking, the technology which was transferred first was the blood bag technology. And actually, if you look at the numbers, I just asked before coming here, approximately how many blood bags would have been manufactured and sold. And the figure is something like 400 million sets. And the value of that, even at a conservative valuation, is something like 2,500 crores. My factory, the factory which I set up, more than 25, 30 years ago with 50 people, today employs 1,500 people. And a small correction to what the director said, it's the largest facility in the world, not in Asia, making blood bags. And blood bags are shipped to 58 countries across the world, and many blood services across the globe depend on supplies coming from this factory in Poojappura, which many of you wouldn't even have heard of. So, what started very small, and the other part of it is this technology transfer. And here I'm sure Dr. Saraswat will be, I was listening with great interest to what he said, and he identified the valley of death as the real, critical phase which needs to be plugged. One of the really great benefits of taking indigenously developed technology and starting from scratch and learning all the way up is, not only you learn the know-how, you learn the know-why. And so what happens is an enormous capacity building happens in this country, in that enterprise which takes it. Now I'm sure all the companies which have come forward and had the good sense, in my opinion, to come forward and license these technologies which were developed here are going to find a benefit. They're going to find themselves far ahead of the competition, because if you get the technologies from abroad, mostly it is just the know-how part. You'll get some manuals and you'll be told how to do things. If you ask why is this being done, you will not be given an answer to that. You'll be just told do it strictly as per SOP. Whereas we knew, because we encountered problems and we had to find solutions, and we worked with the scientists here and we found solutions together. Today, in my old company, Terumo Penpal Limited, the capacity exists to plan and execute complete manufacturing lines for making biomedical devices, not just blood bags. Complete manufacturing lines. Companies in India, for instance, my collaborators have set up a plant in Vietnam. It's a Japanese company. They set up a plant in Vietnam based on the manufacturing technology here. Number one. Number two, we had developed many special purpose equipment in association with Indian companies like Titan. For instance, Titan watches have an automation division. We collaborated with Titan for making certain pick and place equipment for use on our assembly lines, which have all now become part of the manufacturing process, which is working somewhere in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. So the point is, the capacity building which happens is phenomenal by taking, and this is something, so my appeal to Indian industry, and what I am trying to do in a small capacity, because I don't occupy any official position, but I am a member of CII, I am a former member of CII, and I'm a fairly active member of TIE Kerala and some other councils, including the startup ecosystem. I keep telling companies, please do one thing. Don't go there shopping for just ready-made products which are going to be packaged so beautifully that you just open the thing, open the manual and start manufacturing. Don't go there with just that, because sometimes you're missing the wood for the trees. Because the real value comes from serendipity. From just walking around these labs, and then you will find some problem which has been bothering you for months and for years, and you're not able to find a solution. Some scientist is using some process in a lab which is the answer to your prayers. What did Louis Pasteur say? Chance favors the prepared mind. So if you are thinking about a problem, and if you are really worrying about it all the time, And then you walk around a lab like the BMT wing, you will find many points at which there will be, and that's how serendipity works. That's the magic of science and technology. I'm glad to have been associated with this institute again after leaving my company, after selling my company, and after what I thought was going to be a retirement. My old boss, K.M. Chandrasekhar, was the predecessor of Dr. Saraswat, one day gave me a call saying, "Hey Bala, I want you to come and help me with something." So it wasn't clear what it was. He asked me to join what he called his committee, and which was being chaired by Dr. Velitan, a person for whom I have enormous respect, and it also included my old friend Ramani. So it was a pleasure also. And it has been a very rewarding experience working with that committee for these last few years, and I've been seeing the re-energizing and the revitalizing and that kind of phenomenal spirit which has come into the R&D again, and the translation work which is happening, and the transfer which is again happening to industry. And I'm sure this is going to get stronger and stronger. Some very futuristic projects have been taken up. A Vision 2030 document has been approved, which is a fascinating document, and which I'm sure will be a real role model for other research institutions also. So I just want to end here. It's been, as I said, I'm really honored to be here, and it's like the wheel coming a full circle. I first walked into this institute as a 30-year-old ex-bureaucrat, and today I'm sitting here as, I will not disclose my correct age, but it's significantly higher than what it was when I first walked in. But a couple of points which I want to just make, since we have one of India's leading scientists and scientific leaders present here, who is going to lead the initiatives of this institute. R&D spend of companies, especially companies in India, but also of government, is too low. The private sector in India continues to behave largely as rent seekers, not builders of businesses with a long-term vision. Second, R&D has significantly changed, mainly due to the impact of technology, ICT, the internet. Information is easy to access anywhere, which was very difficult, which was a completely different ballgame when I started out. I remember just to get some information, we had to come here, sit with that big voluminous document, medical devices, register, and then go over pages and pages of it and try to find it. Now everything is there on the internet. You can just Google and get it. So this enables collaboration, sharing of resources, crowdsourcing solutions, etc. Many innovative. So I'm glad to hear that the Institute is entering into collaborative arrangements with other laboratories across the country, as well as industry. I'm sure this is going to produce phenomenal results. This is a message for industry. Indian research laboratories and research institutes are a huge resource. Industry in India is losing out by not seeing this fact. And I'm glad that the government is bringing out more initiatives to encourage adoption of technologies and processes developed in Indian labs. There needs to be, I think, much more such incentives. They have not only the technologies and resources, but people with skills in all sorts of esoteric fields and areas, and with proven capabilities. And as I said earlier, industry must also learn into this habit of just walking around laboratories, not coming and expecting some off-the-shelf solutions. They have to just walk around and look. And just to remind you again of what Pasteur said, chance favors the prepared mind. So if you are not looking for something, you're not going to find anything. You're just going to be hanging around. So I'm really enthused and really happy to see again that the Institute is leading again from the front. It is, as Dr. Saraswat mentioned, medical devices import, a substantial part of the medical devices used in this country are imported. In fact, that figure is growing so much year on year that it should be actually a cause for alarm. Because, I read a report somewhere that electronics goods, that is electronic hardware import and medical devices import together, will soon be larger than the oil import bill of this country. That is the amount of oil import dependence. And many of these products actually can be made in this country. And that is where, I mean, institutes like the Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute and the industry people who have come forward to take this, they must go out and become evangelists. They must go out and, because industry listens to industry more readily than industry listening to government or industry listening to academia. So you must go and share your experience. So once again, I'm really proud to be here. I'm glad that this technology conclave, which was started a few years ago, is already into its 3rd edition and is getting traction. And I'm sure as the years pass, this will become much better and it will keep growing and it will start attracting more people from industry from all parts of the country. So I take this occasion to once again wish the the new president of the governing body of the Institute a very successful tenure. You serve with your great experience in industry and in science and research and technology development will be able to give further impetus to the technology development efforts of this institute and set it on a path to very strong growth. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much for your enlightening and memorable address. May I request Dr. Hari Krishna Verma, Head Biomedical Technology Wing, to present a memento to Sri C. Balagopal, the first industrial partner of our institute, as a token of appreciation for being with us today. Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Hari Krishna Verma, Head Biomedical Technology Wing, to propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable President of the Institute, Dr. Vijay Kumar Saraswat, Sri Balagopal, former CMD Tirumapinpol, Director of the Institute, Professor Asha Kishore, former directors of Sri Chitra, former heads of the biomedical technology, dignitaries, our industrial partners, Sri T.P. Senkumar, and all my colleagues, media. Today we have witnessed some very memorable and important events in the form of launching of the 2 products and as well as the technology transfer of about 6 new technologies. So as head of the Biomedical Technology Wing of Sri Chitra, it's my duty and privilege to express relentless gratitude and to record the vote of thanks to the eminent and important personality who are present here in this evening. Let me first thank you, our Honorable President of the Institute, Sri Vijay Kumar Saraswat, who amidst a very busy schedule was kind enough to find time with us all through days and share the moment of joy and with all our staff. Sir, let me, on behalf of all of us, express our midst of thanks to you, sir, and being at such whole day. And it was very interesting that sir was able to talk to a lot of students today in the labs when we had long visits over about more than 2 hours. It was really, I got the impression that all the students were really impressed and they were really encouraged by your kind words. Thank you, sir, for all your. Sri Balagopal name is synonymous to our institute and the growing years of the BMT wing, and thanks to your first commercialization of technology developed in the institute. And as always, as a mentor and an advisor many times, he's always here at us. So today he has come and released the booklet as well as for the very words of wisdom. Thank you, sir. It's my duty to thank our director, Professor Asha Kishore. So he always were there and meticulously planning and arranging, and we have seen the many technology conclaves over the years with many of our fruitful results. Thank you, madam, for all your. I take this time to thank our new institute member, sir, T.P. Senkumar, sir. He is also very busy, but he has agreed to come over here and present with us. Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to thank our former directors, Professor Mohan Kudas, Professor Radhakrishnan, and they're also, like, we always have the friends of Chitra, and whenever they are able to come, they are always with us. I thank Dr. Bhuneswar as well as Dr. C.P. Sharma also. They are kindly agreed and they are here with us. Thank you, sir. I want to record our immense gratitude to all our industry partners who are constantly giving encouragement and confidence in our technology. Why I am saying is that some of the technologies are really, the technology takers again coming, and this is a very, very encouraging moment for us. And special thanks to Dr. Prashant of Merrill Life Sciences, Mrs. Meena Thomas, and Professor Vasudevan from the Agape, and Mr. Ashok Sridhar from Fraction Scientific, Akash Sethi from Sri Paystronics, and Dr. Sai Kalyan from Pravas Denpro, and Sajan P. from Konikara Industries. I also thank former Chief Secretary Gigi Thompson also. Thank you, sir, for coming and encouraging with your great presence here. And once again, before I conclude, I thank all my dignitaries present here and my friends, clinicians, other industrial partners, because we had a 2-day meeting, and most of the people stay with us to listen to us and to see the laboratories and other thing. It was really encouraging for. So on behalf of all of us, we thank you all, and I thank all the Chitra members. Who last 1 month, that we are all working together, to arrange the whole meeting. And once, and I am not mentioning each one of you, but thank you all for this wonderful presence here and the work you have done for the last 1 month. And once again, thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
I request you all to rise for the national anthem.
Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha, Dravida, Utkala, Vanga, Vindhya, Himachal, Yamuna, Ganga, Uchala, Jaladhi, Taranga. Tava Shubha Name Jage, Tava Shubha Ashish Mage, Gahe Tava Jaya Gatha. Jana Gana Mangala Dayak Jaya He, Bharat Bhagya Vidhata. Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya 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 He.